Well, I'm joined by the
Yeah.
delicious one, Delicious Orie. What a name! What a gold medal at super heavyweight at the Commonwealth Games. Just describe, Delicious, what that moment was like to know that you'd won Commonwealth gold.
Oh, it's you know what, it's something I will never ever forget. Something I've dreamed of for so many years. It's been what about 3, 4 years. I first heard about the Commonwealth Games being held in Birmingham, and I thought this is my destiny. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go. I wasn't even on Team GB, Team England then. I wasn't even with a national title. I was a nobody really in the boxing world, and it was a big ask. But I believed in myself, and the likes of AJ and Fraser Clark really did inspire me. I thought I'm going to go out there and do it. So that moment when my hand was raised, I got a little bit emotional, and it was just because of all these things that I remembered, all the feelings, all that hard work that I put in beforehand, for all those years. It all sort of just came together in one place at one time, and yeah, I got emotional at that time. So that's how it really felt then for me.
And that sacrifice and dedication, and when it comes true in those moments. To what extent?
Yeah.
You mentioned Anthony Joshua there and Fraser Clark and Joe Joyce in the middle. To what extent was it a great power for you to know that we've got this conveyor belt of super heavyweights that have come through and have been successful at world amateur level? You've already won a European bronze medal, which is a very tough tournament. As you and I were talking about with Adi Oladipo and TalkSport earlier on, that you knew that this system, if you like, worked. Is that great? What sports psychologists would say is great scaffolding to build around.
Yeah, you know what it was? It was the belief. When I was picked for the Commonwealth Games, when I was picked for the Europeans, these are the same coaches that took people like Anthony Joshua, Fraser Clark, Joe Joyce to the same tournaments. And so when people ask, "Oh, have you got pressure on your shoulders?" These guys have won medals in these games. Have you got pressure? Because you've got to sort of you've got to replicate it. You've got a high standard to achieve. And it was just, there's pressure. There's always pressure to win a medal, of course there is. But it's been done. History, it's proven. It's been done time and time again with the same support staff, the same coaches, and being sort of backstage in the back, warming up and stuff. I look around and be like, these are the same coaches that took the previous super heavyweights out there. If they believe I could do it, if they've chosen me to go out there and compete for the country, why can't I go out there and achieve it? So it was just it's like my self belief amplified, So that's how it felt.
Yeah, Rob and Richie and Lee,
exactly.
And all those guys there, the guys that analyze I remember speaking to the guys about the analysis at the EIS of sleep patterns and sweat vapor and all these things, nutritional meals, it's an amazing setup, isn't it? It
really is. I've had interviews.
Altitude
in the
chambers,
Games.
Everything, yeah.
I've had interviews in the past, and during the Commonwealth Games, and obviously beforehand, and I say the same thing. Team GB, Team England, we're the best team in the world. We have the best. Members of staff, the best coaches, and we all have one goal, which is to get medals. So the belief in what they do, belief in the process, for me, it's everything, and I really do truly believe it, and that's why I went out there and I got that gold medal, because we are second to none.
Are we going to see you go for Olympic gold now in Paris in 2024?
It's 100%. 2 years is going to fly by. We've got major tournaments next year.
World Amateurs, the Europeans as well.
Exactly. With the Worlds, we've got the Europeans. There'll be many more qualification events, tournaments going on. I'll be facing the best guys in the world, and I know I need this before I step into the professional ranks. I know I've already even faced these guys, but I need more and more experience. The more I can get, the better. I'm playing the wrong game. I'm investing in a lot in the long run. I'm aware that they will pay dividends. I studied it for 4 years in economics. Investment is key. Smart investment is key. And it will pay dividends, and it's already paying dividends, and I can see it happening. So it's only right for me to stay, build on that experience, and take over the world of the amateurs, then do the same, replicate that in the professional game.
I mean, it's a great segue into my next question, which is comparisons are being made with Anthony Joshua. I know you found him an inspiration, that he didn't take up the sport till he was 17, 18. He was bodybuilding before that. He was the wrong side of the tracks. But your story diverges from him in another way. You mentioned your degree there, but you also had a very different upbringing as well. 7 years living just outside Moscow, a Russian dad, and a Nigerian mum, I think is correct, isn't it?
The other way around. Yeah, other way around.
Sorry, the other way around. Yeah, just kind of fascinating backstory.
Yeah. I've had a lot of people that tell me, are you the next AJ? Are you the next one? In a way, look, I'm following his footsteps. So in a way, yes, but I've got my own story to tell.
Yes.
I've come from a different kind of walk of life. I wasn't that. I wasn't born here. My first language wasn't English. I had to learn English from scratch at 8 years old.
Yeah.
I had a very strict father who said, you've got to go to university. And I did go to university. I'm not a I wasn't, the most sporty kid. I did play basketball growing up, but, it was more academics for me. That was the priority of my life. Everything revolved around school for me, So slightly different backstory. But the end goal and the journey is the same in terms of the discipline, determination, consistency, hard work, and self-belief is the same. And the end result will be the same, which is to be Olympic gold medalist and world champion at the end of it. And hopefully I can inspire a kind of a new batch of the younger generation. And they don't have to be active, extroverted people. They can be people that could enjoy studying at the same time, could potentially pursue a career that maybe their parents are not exactly fond of, but they know that this is something that they want to really do and feel like they want to do it. So slightly different, sort of like I said, divergence in something else.
Yeah.
Some kind of way of life.
When you say world champion there, you're talking about professional heavyweight world champion?
I'm talking about both world champion as an amateurs and world champion as in the professional game. We're just taking over basically in boxing.
Can you dream about that already a little bit?
Yes, yeah. I started boxing without knowing the difference between amateur boxing and professional boxing. I didn't know any. My friends and family don't box. I've never. I didn't. Hang out with boxers or anything like that. So I walked into a boxing gym completely blank, and I just said to the coach, I want to be a boxer. And then I was told obviously the difference between the two, and I decided to then obviously follow the Olympic route. But the first time I saw AJ is when he won his first world title, the IBF heavyweight title, and this was in early 2016. So that was the initial dream, heavyweight champion. That's the initial dream. There's steps to get to that dream, and the Olympics is part of that journey.
Listen, I know you're very modest about things. It's a huge event in the heavyweight world, in the boxing world next week when Anthony Joshua goes into his sequel with Alexander Usyk, trying to win back those the major 3 world heavyweight belts and could be a 3-time heavyweight world champion. We all know, and he does, that he wishes he'd left more in the ring that night at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on September the 25th last year. If you had a moment in his ear, I know you're a younger brother of his in a way, in terms of boxing, but what would you be encouraging him to do in his second fight with Usyk?
For me, the thing what I would be advising him, and I've heard this I've heard it's been repeated quite a bit on social media, especially, is to dominate a little bit more, use his feet and use his weight to apply pressure on Usyk. Usyk's not a natural heavyweight. He's not a natural, really big guy. He's a big guy. I'm not saying he's not a big guy, but I'm talking like proper big guy. So he's got to use that against him, and he's just got to apply that pressure on him. And I feel like that's the best way to go about it. But I'm no coach. I won't be a coach for a long time. So I'm sure whatever his coaches have got in store, in plan for strategy, hopefully it pays off. Because we need those belts back in the UK, I tell you that.
Absolutely. And then we get the big fights.
We get the big,
Tyson Fury.
we get the real exciting stuff, you know. And this is why I absolutely love British boxing and British fans and English fans, because there's nothing quite like it. You know, we are the best at hyping up fights, and bringing people together, and really enjoying nights of and days of sport. So you know, hopefully, you know, he does his thing, and he makes the country proud.
Have you sparred with all the big heavyweights?
So I'm inspired of all of them. I've got had the opportunity to have sparring sessions with Anthony Joshua, and that experience went like the first time I sparred him was a little bit starstruck. It was a bit like a little fangirl. Couldn't quite believe it. But over the next few weeks, it was just we just got down to business, and we did what we had to do to obviously improve. And so he had to do his thing. I did my thing. So, but you know, as being in Sheffield, I get very regular sparring with Team GB. There's never a shortage of sparring. It's very good, high quality sparring. But you know, hopefully, I will start to go out there and spar the more recognizable names and work with them. But look, I'm competing. I'm not even sparring. I'm competing with the best guys out there.
Yeah.
You know, who are winning medals. Fraser Clark, for example. So I definitely no shortage of sparring and no shortage of world-class work with world-class athletes all around the world.
Tell me, finally, and we're very grateful to your parents for calling you Delicious. What's your ring name that goes along with Delicious Orie then?
Do you know? I'm really. I haven't been told a big name, or I haven't been called anything yet. But I'm gonna try and just make sure there will be no ring name, because I feel like my dad knew what he was doing from when I was born, and called me this for a specific reason, which is Delicious Orie. So I'm hoping it will stick, Delicious, and there'll be no ring name needed.
I think that's the best answer. Delicious. It was delicious. Thank you very much.
That's it. Simple. Thank you so much. Much appreciated.